Hi, I'm Kevin Schrant. Earth Day marks its 50th anniversary this year. If you're not familiar, Earth Day was the catalyst for a lot of great initiatives, such as the Environmental Protection Agency, the Clean Water Act, and the Clean Air Act, the latter two to curb pollution. For the past 30 years, I've been involved with some type of Earth Day project, whether it's working outside in the field, or if it's a music project, performing, or a video project. One video project I want to share with you is called Planetary Update, and the premise is simple. Two intergalactic aliens are looking down on the Earth and they're seeing that the Earth managers, us humans, are not managing it very well from an environmental standpoint. So they tap into the primary mode of communication, which is television, and they see programming that is very disturbing about environmental issues. Mr. Dodger's Neighborhood is one such clip that in the neighborhood, the animals or the puppets are the ones that are environmentally conscious, whereas Mr. Dodgers dodges the issues. Well, here, just check it out.
Among the countless galaxies of an ageless universe, two young galactic ecologists begin to scan a spiraling arm of a small young galaxy. Many light years from galactic center, they come upon a small solar system with one small living planet. Their mission, the search for intelligent life, and that most precious resource of all, genetic diversity.
I think we just passed through an asteroid field. Unfortunately, we could have had quite a time, fireworks and everything.
Right, we haven't left the planet yet. I think we've passed the asteroid field. You've had too much beverage.
Good point. You know, I think this thing's a little bit out of whack.
Out of whack?
Maybe you could fix
Shall
it
I
with
try to
your
correct
galaxy
it?
gun.
I shall try to fix it.
Please do.
Better?
No, not yet.
Better?
Much better.
Good.
Much better. Hey, Roy, look at these chromograph readings. They're growing exponentially.
Exponential growth, that's an indication of point source generation. Could be a planet.
Yes, I believe it is. There's a strong indication of life here.
Life? All right.
Turn on the monitor.
Yes. Observe. The bioscope is jumping off the scale.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, it's beautiful.
Look at the flow of that atmosphere and the interchange between the oceans and the land below. This must be a fertile planet.
Let's do a wave scan.
We've never seen anything like this in the entire galaxy. Listen to these vital stats. Millions of distinct genetic forms, including both solar and chemical energy synthesizers, oceans of water at the surface and oceans of atmosphere above, with constant interchange between the two. The tilt of the planet's axis causes seasonal variations extreme in the high latitudes, while the climate in the low latitudes appears to be relatively stable. Bioscope is indicating that these small wet regions in the low latitudes contain a full half of the biotic diversity.
The needles are jumping off the scale. Plasma. These regions occupy only 2% of the planet's surface. That's truly unique. Careful with the instrumentation.
That's okay, it's good for it.
Plasma. Look at the EM ratings. I'll switch on the monitor.
Storm energy or intelligence?
Look at these frequencies. Crude frequencies. Let me try to decode. Intelligence! These must be the communications of the planetary managers. Let's monitor these frequencies.
This studio is full of $46,000 worth of prizes just waiting to be taken home by you. From the exotic jungles of Central and South America, we bring you this solid mahogany bathroom set. Complete with mahogany toothbrush caddy, automatic toothpaste dispenser, and mahogany toilet seat. Or you might win this solid teak dining room set, complete with disposable hardwood toothpicks. Or maybe you could take home a fur from the steamy tropical regions of Southeast Asia. We have Jaguar's furs that could be straight off the cat's back and onto yours if you win at Wheel of Misfortune!
Well, welcome to Wheel of Misfortune. It looks as though we have 3 eager contestants ready for their pursuit of the good life today. But first, before we introduce them, let's not forget about our lovely hostess, Raina Green.
You know, Bob, I've been thinking lately, and I was wondering...
Right, Raina. Are you ready, contestants? Let me explain the rules to you. How would you like the opportunity to win one of those little tropical rainforest goodies right for your own hometown USA bathroom? How's that sound, Mary? Tell our audience about yourself, Mary Brown.
Oh, well, thanks, Bob. Well, I'm from Pleasantville, South Carolina, and me and my whole family watch your show every night. And I've got 1 son and 2 daughters, and besides watching your show, we love to shop.
Yeah. Great, Mary. And how about you, Billy Ray?
Hi, Bob. I'm Billy Ray Buckshot from Minnehoka, Minnesota. And I'm here to take a shot at that prize trip to Madagascar, or wherever that is, for the Man of Wilderness contest, because I'm kind of a wild man myself. You know, and well, at home, I'm a truck driving man, and my hobbies are driving my pickup truck in the wilderness and shoot little brown animals, too. Oh, yeah.
How about you, John?
Yes, well, I'm John DeBell. I run the recycling program in my hometown. And, you know, I was thinking that...
That's great, John. Let me tell you how the game works here. I ask the questions, and the contestants take shots at the answers in the order that they buzz in. Then they get a shot of the spin at the wheel, and they can guess letters, and eventually, if they can, guess the phrase of the day and win all sorts of rainforest goodies. Yeah. Are we ready? Are we ready, folks?
Yeah.
Well, let's get started and give you a chance to perhaps win a trip to see the wild man cruise through the jungles of steamy Madagascar. Or perhaps you could win one of the tropical rainforest birds that's in our cages backstage.
I don't know if I want any of those things.
What a card, folks. Let's take a commercial break. Now, John, we've got sponsors and ratings to think about here.
Good morning. Welcome to Planetary Update. I'm Suzanne Head, and this is Nancy Smith.
Good morning. Today we have some encouraging stories and also some bad news about what's going on around the planet. So without any further delay, let's hear about today's events. Suzanne?
Today is the end of the 4-day conference, Tropical Rainforest Strategies for Wise Management. 35 experts on tropical rainforests spoke to an audience of 400. Most of these experts agreed that current destruction of rainforests is unwise, short-sighted, and could signal the beginning of a biological holocaust. But alternatives were also presented.
The keynote speaker was David Brower. Mr. Brower pointed out that the United States is actually the most overpopulated nation in the world because its consumption of energy and resources is 10 times that of the rest of the world.
Perhaps the most disturbing presentation at the conference came from astrophysicist Adam Trombley. While showing NASA slides of the Earth's surface, Dr. Trombley explained why scientists are convinced that the world has entered a state of environmental emergency. He also said, quote, "Mankind is the endangered species at this point," unquote.
The Boulder Rainforest Action Group staged a demonstration today at the Burger King restaurant at Crossroads Mall. This was part of a national campaign to protest restaurants that use rainforest beef. One demonstrator told reporters that the United States buys 90% of the beef that Central America produces. This is produced on land that was once rainforest and is now converted to cow pasture. The main attraction of the event was undoubtedly the so-called eco-steer, which eats rainforest and defecates big whoppers.
Big whoppers?
Yes, big whoppers.
In Malaysia, the Consumers Association of Penang is calling for an international boycott of all R.J. Reynolds products. This is to protest their annual camel adventure races through virgin rainforest. This year's race is planned for Madagascar, in its last remaining rainforest. Pictures taken during these adventures become advertisements for Camel cigarettes.
And for the macho mystique of man against poor Mother Nature. Another news flash. 50,000 species have become extinct on the island of Madagascar.
At least 3/4 of a ton of termites now exist for every human being on Earth. Termite populations explode in the waste left by fires in the rainforest.
Scientists have become concerned about exponential increases of the amount of methane in the Earth's atmosphere. Methane is a greenhouse gas, meaning that it holds and reflects heat back to the Earth's surface. The source of the increase? Termites.
The Western Sahara is growing by 5 kilometers per year.
Did you know that the natural growth of the Sahara has been greatly increased by human acts of deforestation?
Did you know that half of Ethiopia used to be rainforest?
Did you know that over 1 billion acres of rainforest will be lost by the year 2000, according to the Global 2000 report?
50 million acres are lost per year.
1 acre per second.
1,000 species extinct per year.
1 million species lost forever by the year 2000.
These planetary managers appear to have peculiar values towards their life support systems.
Yes, they appear to be unaware of the implication of these values. Just look at this gamma monitor. It indicates high concentrations of radiation concentrations.
Yes, primitive intelligence is often characterized by short displays of violent energy.
Yes, primitive intelligence is such. These last transmissions suggested movement towards resolution of these conflicts, however. Crazy way to run a planet.
In such incredible life, the bioscope is still registering new species.
Yes.
Highest concentrations are located in the regions these animals are discussing. They're called the tropical rainforests.
And they are destroying them. Crazy way to run a planet. These managers are screwing up.
Blowing it.
Let us continue to monitor these frequencies.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a lovely day in the neighborhood. Well, hello, neighbors. And how are we doing today? Boy, it sure was hot. That's why I wore these sunglasses. I also wore my favorite sweater just in case we got some early snows. You know, on real hot days like today, you know what I like to do? I like to put my feet in a nice cool bathing pool. It's kind of a special feeling. You like to do that? Like to sprinkle the water over my feet, make them nice and calm and smooth? Smooth. I like that word, smooth. Maybe we'll do that after our time together, huh, neighbors? Good. You know, neighbors, all this sun makes me think of a lot of things, like lemonade, suntan lotion, and perspiration. But you know, it also makes me think of places where they got lots of trees and animals, and where it's very hot and steamy. You know, it makes me think of the jungle. Should we play make-believe, neighbors? If you know this song, neighbors, don't be bashful now, sing along. Fishies and birds and little furry things. Sorry. Fishies and birds and little furry things. Buzzards and bees that bumble. Hummingbirds, sloths, and big kitty cats. That's what lives in the jungle. Now, wasn't that fun? Whew, all this music sure tires me out. You know what I like when I'm tired? I like to have a big glass of orange juice and a saltine cracker. Does that sound good, neighbor?
Mr. Dodger! Mr. Dodger!
Why, it's Mr. Jaguar. Hello, Mr. Jaguar. You know, Mr. Jaguar lives in the jungle, too.
Well, Mr. Dodger, you know it's not really referred to as the jungle. It's tropical rainforest. And yes, I live there for now.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jaguar. Tropical rainforest. Can you say that? Well, Mr. Jaguar, you look nervous. Did we have a complete nutritious breakfast this morning?
Actually, Mr. Dodger, I'm lucky to find any breakfast these days. My habitat is so threatened that prey is scarce, and I'm constantly threatened by fire or human encroachment.
Well, Mr. Jaguar, that doesn't sound very nice. We all have bad days, though. When I have a bad day, I like to put on my favorite sweater and my favorite shoes and go out in the park and throw rocks at birds.
Quit dodging the issue, Mr. Dodger. The reason that Mr. Jaguar is so threatened by loss of habitat is because farmers, loggers, and ranchers are destroying acres and acres of tropical rainforest trees for short-term profit.
Well, hello, Mr. Monkey. Yes, tropical rainforests are full of trees, so full that the canopy of branches does not let any of the sun penetrate it. Penetrates. I like that word. The rainforest is dark and green and scary and...
In some places. But farmers, due to pressures from unequal distribution of wealth and government incentives, come into the forest and burn or chop sections of trees.
Or bulldozers come and raise the land so it can be converted into pasture for cows. Then various international fast food chains purchase the Central American beef because it's slightly cheaper.
We know all about hamburgers, don't we, neighbors? Barbecues, milkshakes. Can you say all-American?
Can you say economic incentives for forest destruction? You see, Mr. Dodger, this beef or tropical hardwood or cash crop leaves the land a barren desert in a few years.
That's right, Mr. Dodger. In a tropical rainforest, most of the nutrients are held in the biomass, not in the soil. So, when the trees are gone, the soil gives out in just a few years. Then, massive erosion occurs, and the resulting silt destroys local watersheds. The damage can even extend to reefs offshore from the outlets of silt-laden rivers.
Can you say big problem, neighbors? Why don't we all have a glass of chocolate milk, and then maybe a very special I'm sorry from all the loggers and all the consumers of tropical goods and even government officials?
Sorry, Mr. Dodger. Species are going extinct at a rate of over 3 a day, due partially to loss of rainforests.
Global climate is changing. The breadbasket of America is threatened and might become a desert.
You mean no more home-baked bread from Chef Purple Toes?
Mr. Dodger, only concerned citizens educating their neighbors, writing to their congresspeople, and boycotting tropical hardwoods and Central American beef can cease the madness. Ribbit.
Can you say grassroots activism?
Well...
Can you say global implications if the cutting isn't stopped?
Can you say beats me, neighbors?
Can you say tropical deforestation, Mr. Dodger?
Now, folks, here's a tough one. 50% of species of life on this planet are located...
In the zoo!
Well, not quite. Billy Ray?
Well, let me think here now. There's a lot of water out there, so I think I better say in the ocean.
Not quite. John, you want to give it a shot?
70% of the Earth is ocean, and yet only 2% rainforest. But even so, I think the rainforests contain 1/2 of all the life species on the planet.
Well, John, you're right. Much more, and you'll be able to take one of those tropical goodies home with you today. One of those wild animals in a cage or maybe as a fur for his wife.
The nutrients were actually in the plants rather than in the soil. And the soil is virtually worthless as farmland.
For the most part, up to 90% of the nutrients are retained in the biomass above ground. Very little in the soil itself, and only a small leaf layer above, very little thick, what people would think would be very thick, nutrient-rich soil.
So it's like destroying...
Well, you remove the canopy, it exposes the ground to that intense sunlight, wind and soil erosion, and
water.
And many times reburning occurs, especially when you're grazing cattle. They need to clear out brush and other things the cattle won't eat. They reburn the area, and thus causing, more to be exposed, and it makes the situation much worse.
Not only is it extremely difficult to revegetate tropical soils, if not impossible, but since most areas in the tropics have a monsoon season, the torrential tropical rains will pound on the earth, and instead of being absorbed by the vegetation in a tropical rainforest. The water just runs off, causes massive flooding and siltation.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder why we think we can do it better than nature did it. Especially in areas that we don't very well understand. I mean, we bring North American and Western methods to the tropics where they didn't even evolve. I mean, they evolved in you know, moderate, temperate areas.
Yeah. This animal does not wish to see the implications of its actions. I wonder if such attitudes are common.
These frequencies are being widely broadcast.
Yes, some of them appear to be of higher intelligence, yet the patterns are strong for destruction. These instruments are noting concentrations of energy use that will rapidly erode the ecological balance of this planet.
This planet is close enough to the solar source. They have a constant surplus of energy, and yet they do not use it. It is painful to imagine a transition from such beautifully diverse life to a state of slime.
Simple, slippery slime.
Our data doesn't force us to the conclusion that all is lost for this planet. My fellow ecologist, an increase in the eco-intelligence could change the management style of these animals.
This orb brings me great joy. Do you want to play with the orb?
Yes, I would love to.
Do not drop it. It controls our energy systems.
Oh boy, this is fantastic.
Pass it back. You bogart the orb.
Here you go.
We will continue.
Yo! That one was by Johnny Mahogany and the Trunks. Now we're going to go to something a little different. A young man that sings about some HIP hip stuff. Yeah, the rainforest. His name's Conda Kev. And, well, that's what I got to say. Let's hear what he's got to say. So, Conda Kev, take it away, guy.
This is a song that I wrote while traveling in Brazil about 1.5 years ago. It's about what's happening down there to the land, to the plants and animals and the people. It's called To the Waves.
Look at all the people with their lives in the street. But can you really blame them while they're dragging their feet? And do you really hear them as you sit from your seat? Listen to the waves. Every day our policies get twisted around. But then again, our ideas may not be sound. Do we really hear them as we sit from our seats? Listen to the waves.
And now Consumer Watch. Today's report will focus on tropical rainforest products. We're going to go now to Catherine Matthews on location. Catherine?
A furniture store isn't the only place where your purchases can have an impact on the global environment. Many supermarket products are also linked to deforestation. Excuse me, sir. Evidently you like bananas.
Yeah, so?
Well, there are alternative toppings for your breakfast cereal, like strawberries, blueberries, or canned peaches.
Why do I have to give up bananas?
Because banana plantations have eradicated thousands of acres of tropical rainforest. Such forests formerly were home to some of the 50% of the world's plant and animal species that are found in the tropics. But when a monoculture of bananas replaces the natural ecosystem, the animals' homes are destroyed and they're displaced, largely to perish. you might consider the consequences to the rainforest before you buy bananas. Next time. Let's find another example of environmentally destructive products. Hello, ma'am. I see you've just bought Pepsodent and Lipton's cup of soup. Did you know that the parent company is one of the primary deforesters of the tropical rainforest in the Pacific?
Really?
Yes. Lever Pacific Timbers has over 50% of the timber quota in the Solomon Islands alone. Such logging contributes to this shocking statistic of rainforest destruction, 1 acre per second destroyed.
I had no idea.
Yes.
Thank you, Catherine. Now for the weather. Dr. Bob Heinzman will update us on global weather patterns. Dr. Bob?
Thank you, Suzanne. Let me explain to you why it is difficult to predict the weather. There has been an increase in atmospheric temperature due to an increase in certain gases in the atmosphere. This is called the greenhouse effect, predicted decades ago. This increase in temperature is due primarily to carbon dioxide and methane production due to busy little humans running around. As well, there have been increases in global velocity of wind patterns all over the planet. And also, there has been an increase in particulate matter in the atmosphere. This latter point, dust in the sky when you look up blocking the sun, is the result of billions and billions of human beings running around all over the planet, doing all sorts of busy sort of things, moving things around and burning things down like forests and such. As well, there has been a problem with the rain. When you cut down the trees, it doesn't rain as much anymore. So sometimes there are places that used to have rain, and now there is no more rain. Sometimes there are places that didn't have rain, there's a little bit of rain. Sometimes there wasn't rain and there isn't rain now. So you can see it is very difficult to predict the weather. There is one thing that I can predict, however. Due to increases in changes in global atmospheric chemistry, etc., deforestation, etc., and due to the fact that there's increased radiation because we have no more ozone layer, those people who have stock in companies that sell suntan lotion or sunglasses will become very rich. Suzanne.
Thank you, Dr. Bob. And thank you for joining us today. I wish there were more good news to report, but these are the facts. Good day, and I hope we all have a tomorrow. Whew. I wonder how much all this paper represents in trees and rainforests.
According to a famous media spokesman, Coke is...
This is it!
Right!
But Bob, I'd like to point out that any Tom, Dick, or Harry ought to... But Bob, I'd like to point out that even the name Coke comes from a plant in the South American tropical rainforest. It's from the cocoa plant. And anybody, even I know that. I mean, a person really ought to catch on.
Now here's our final question of the day and your last chance to win all sorts of goodies from all those corporations. All right. Child leukemia used to be 95% fatal. But now, because of a plant, it is 95% curable. Where is that plant located? John.
Tropical rainforests.
Right! John, would you like to take a shot at our phrase of the day?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I would, Bob. Rainforests are dying.
Right! You win, John.
Destruction. These animals are very destructive. This does not appear to be sound ecological planning.
No. Zones of highest diversity of life slaughtered. Well, Quays, what we're witnessing here is a planet in a major crossroads of evolution. If the individuals who value the natural systems are successful in their efforts, the ecological systems and biodiversity of this planet will be preserved. Look at these monitors. Look at the radiation sequences. And evolution, if they are preserved, can continue slowly as it always has. If the forces of destruction prevail, on the other hand, this planet will soon be slime. All that is beautiful life will go to waste.
It seems a shame that 4 billion years of evolution could end so quickly.
Yes, plasma. Let's just hope that it doesn't. This is a beautiful planet with great fertility.
Yes, perhaps someday some of these animals will become planetary ecologists themselves.
What a fine thought. With that in mind, let us consume beverages and move on.